Hello and welcome to How to Draw Cute Cartoon Characters Using Reference, Part 1. Um, we're going to be covering in these videos observational drawing, drawing animal books. I'm going to recommend some, drawing cute cartoon characters, gestures, construction, flat shapes. None of this is in any particular order, but this is kind of what we're going to be talking about and what it is that makes up a good cute cartoon drawing. So we'll get to that in a second. Hello, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 20 years. First things you need to do is obviously get your reference. So okay, so I Googled kittens, and yeah, look at so cute. Um, so I picked a bunch of kittens to that I might be able to draw. I ended up choosing this one. It was up against this one, and I ended up choosing this one. Now, before I even begin, the very first thing that we're going to do when we're looking at something as complicated as a real life uh, photo like this kitten is simplify. What we want to do is we don't want to get caught up in all the little fur and all the little details and stuff like that. That is just so overwhelming. Okay, so everything you draw can be turned into a flat graphic shape. Now I have a drawing website, and one of the things that I do here in this drawing website, in thedrawingwebsite.com, is explain how flat graphic shapes basically make everything. Okay, so I have in this particular lesson, it's just about drawing graphic shapes. But then eventually, what you end up doing is you're able to use said flat graphic shapes to make cartoon characters out of graphic shapes. Now these are extremely simple, but the point of this lesson is that uh, you never stop simplifying and learning to see things in flat graphic shapes. And the reason why is so that you could get a handle on stuff like realistic drawing, like these naturalistic drawings. Um, so you see if you can find the graphic shapes, the flat graphic shapes. This takes practice. You have to draw lots of things from life in order to learn to break things down as simply as possible, which means that it's not enough just to know that things are going to be turned into flat graphic shapes when you're actually practicing it and you're actually doing it. It is actually trickier because you have to train your brain to start seeing something this complicated into something far, far more graphic. All right? So that's generally the tip that I would give. So the first thing that we would have to do if we want to break this little guy down is to break him down into flat graphics. For example, let's give it a try. I haven't done this, so you're going to see me attempt it. And this does not necessarily mean that I will succeed. And the reason why I say that is because drawing is a process. Everything that you draw is always a challenge. Things can get a little bit easier, a little bit harder, but generally, drawing is always tricky and difficult, and you're just going to need to practice and practice and practice. So first thing that I look at is this cat's head is very circular, so I'm going to make this a flat head. And then this I could see, I'm going to break this down into and say that this is kind of boxy. Do you see what I'm seeing? Do you see what I'm trying to simplify this so that it's not overwhelming. And then there's like little gaps here. I will not completely define them. I will sort of define them. There's a tail here. So this is a flat graphic representation of what I see of this kitten. Okay? See how much easier it is to have some semblance of control over something like this than it is to like try to draw all the details. Okay, so this is basically this kitten. Okay? This is a flat graphic. We are working on a flat sheet of paper, or in this case, a digital flat screen, and we're not working in 3 dimensions. So why give yourself the headache of having to deal with the 3 dimensional right away, trying to make something look solid and realistic, etc., etc., because you work within the medium you're in. So create graphics. And this is a little off. Yeah. I think the tail's lower. Another thing you should keep in mind when working, when drawing, is spatial relationships, by which I mean, what's this exterior shape doing? What does this look like? What is this? What is this shape? What is this shape? What is this negative shape? This is what you're also looking at when you're starting to refine and design your drawing. So in observational drawing, you're looking for this. You're looking for these things. Relationships. Is there a shape here? Can you make a shape? If you were to make this into an actual shape, what would it look like? This is the negative space. Can you duplicate it? Can you duplicate that negative space? If you can, it's more likely that you're going to get an accurate representation of this area. Do you see what I'm saying? Now mine isn't perfect by any means. I think I probably could grab this and maybe squish it this way. But you get the idea. So this is what we're working on first. That's the very first thing you want to do, is observe landmarks, but also create as graphic a representation of what you're drawing as possible. It's a good exercise just to wrap your head around observational drawing. Observational drawing is a very unique skill that that comes in handy when you are looking at reference, when you're copying something, when you're looking at model sheets and you're trying to draw a character that looks on model, etc., etc. And on model, I mean like it looks like the character he's supposed to be. All right, so now it is exercise time. I'm going to give you a little something to practice so that you can get good at doing this. So what I want you to do is get your reference, and it could be a printed out photograph, and you could get tracing paper, or you could do what I'm doing here digitally, bring it into Photoshop or Manga Studio or whatever program you've got. And I want you to take your reference, and I want you to find the graphic shape that makes up your reference. In this case, looking at this simple little cat, okay, do you see that? It's kind of like you're going to do a cutout, right? And you're cutting out the big pieces. Like you're using scissors and you're cutting out the big pieces. And then it's not a perfect analogy because see this tail is kind of like in the wrong place. Unless, of course, you do this. So, so like pretend you are using scissors and you're cutting out the shapes around the character, okay? And then after you're done, you use the scissors to cut out these shapes. Okay? And this, doing this exercise of tracing over your drawing like this, or your reference like this, will help you start seeing the big shape, the big shapes of something much more complicated. So that when you then decide that you want to draw your reference, you're actually drawing the graphic shape. See, even I messed up here. But this is what you want to do. You're trying to find that, and then you add the little things in here, the negative space. However it works. I'm not being perfect about it, but I'm just because I'm trying really hard, just very quickly to illustrate my point. And now you've got a graphic representation. Yeah, this needs a bit of work, but yeah. So you get my point. Now, a word of warning, this does not mean that you're going to be able to draw all kinds of stuff out of your imagination. This actually is a tip for observational drawing. Okay? When you're drawing something out of your imagination, you don't tend to, you're not so superficial. You're not looking so much at all the abstractions outside. You're actually working from the inside out. It's a different method, but this combined with that other method, which I may start talking about in a later video, enhances your ability to draw. And they're both complementary because they both help each other out eventually when you know how to do them both. Okay, so I'm going to talk about all that stuff, including design and all these other things, in the next videos. If you found this video useful, I would really appreciate if you were to become one of my patrons. The benefits of being my patron is, for starters, you get to watch all the videos pretty much months ahead of schedule because I'm very, very far ahead a lot of the time on how many videos I'm posting up. Also, if you ask me a question and you're a patron, your questions get answered first. So, for example, you want me to do a video on X, Y, and Z. There's some kind of drawing issue you're having. If you're a patron, I'm going to get to your video before anybody else's. Other people ask me questions. You're allowed to ask me questions even if you're not a patron, and I will answer and make a video of those things as well. But when you're a patron, yours gets first dibs. Okay, so thank you so much, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.